Hey there, welcome everybody to TXN Sports, to another edition of TXN Sports World. Hi, I'm your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We apologize for the late start. Let's get right into it. We don't have much time. Let's dive right on in. Rory McIlroy had to wait more than a decade to win the Masters and complete the career Grand Slam. He had to wait only a year to take home a second green jacket. After squandering a record six-stroke lead in Saturday's third round, McIlroy briefly lost the lead again Sunday before taking control on the second nine at Augusta National to become the first back-to-back Masters champion since Tiger Woods in 2001 and 2002, and the fourth overall, joining Jack Nicklaus and Nick Faldo. A day after his 1 over 73 opened the door for a handful of golfers, McIlroy posted a 71 despite a bogey on the 18th to win by one stroke at 12 under 276. McIlroy became only the fourth golfer in the last 40 years to hold a lead or co-lead after each round of the Masters. With his sixth major championship victory, McIlroy joined Nick Faldo for the second most among European golfers. Only England's Harry Vardon won more, with 7 from 1896 to 1914. As with last year, this Masters victory didn't come without some drama on the 18th hole. Holding a two-stroke lead, McIlroy badly sliced his drive into the trees on the right, his ball nearly reaching the edge of the 10th fairway. Standing in pine straw, McIlroy hooked an 8-iron high over the trees into the left bunker at the 18th. He punched out to 12 feet and two-putted for a bogey and one-shot victory over world number one Scottie Scheffler, who finished at 11 under. Thanks to two late birdies, Scheffler closed with a 68 and became the first golfer since World War II to play bogey-free in the final two rounds of the Masters. Tyrell Hatton, who plays in Live Golf, tied for third at 10 under with Russell Henley, Justin Rose, and Cameron Young. McIlroy looked to be in trouble early in his round. After making a birdie on the par 4 third, he three-putted for a double bogey on the par 3 fourth to drop to 10 under. A bogey on the par 3 6 dropped him to 9 under, 2 shots behind Young. The early mistakes had McIlroy looking at scoreboards throughout his round. McIlroy took control at Amen Corner, Augusta National's famous three-hole stretch from numbers 11 to 13. He made par on the par 4 11th to maintain a one-shot lead over four golfers, then hit his tee shot with a 9-iron high over the par 3 12th green. His ball landed and kicked right, stopping 7 feet from the hole. McIlroy's birdie putt broke right and dropped in the cup for a two-shot lead. Then on the par 5 13th, McIlroy crushed a 350-yard drive down the right side, leaving him 183 yards from the hole. His approach shot bounced off the back of the green about 22 yards away. McIlroy putted down the green to 11 feet and made a birdie putt for a three-stroke lead with 5 holes to play. Justin Rose, a three-time runner-up at Augusta National after losing to McIlroy in the playoff last year, started the final round 3 strokes behind McIlroy and Young, but he closed the first 9 with 3 straight birdies to move to 12 under for a 2-stroke lead when he made the turn. But it was another devastating finish for Rose. On the 11th, he pushed his approach shot far to the right. He chipped over a bunker on his third shot and couldn't make a 15-footer for par. The bogey dropped him to 11 under, tying him with McIlroy. Rose's tee shot on the 12th was long and left. Somehow, he chunked his chip shot from behind the green, leaving his ball in the rough. He putted to 5 feet and made another bogey, falling one behind McIlroy. The 45-year-old Rose, who was attempting to become the second oldest Masters champion, seemed to regain momentum on his approach to the par 5 15th. From 197 yards, Rose took an aggressive line and his ball bounced onto the green and stopped 30 feet from the hole. But Rose missed an eagle putt, then an 8-foot birdie try, and had to settle for a 3-putt par, leaving him 2 behind McIlroy. Scheffler put himself back in the hunt for a third green jacket with a 7 under 65 on Saturday. He made 2 early birdies in the final round, but then carded 11 straight pars before the birdies at numbers 15 and 16. Excellent Masters. I mean, this was one of the best Masters that I've seen in a long time. I still consider 1986 the greatest Masters of all time, with Jack Nicklaus, with what he did at the age of 46. And of course, Tiger Woods in 2005 with the shot heard round the world. I mean, unbelievable moment there. And Phil Mickelson finally getting over the hump in 2004. And there's so many great memories, but it looked like Rory's to lose. But then I was starting to worry. I was like, oh no, this can't happen. I mean, this was supposed to be his to lose. But credit to Justin Rose for hanging in, and Tyrell Hatton I thought was a great was another standout. Russell Henley and Cameron Young. I mean, they all played very well. But Rory did just enough to survive, and he escaped by the skin of his teeth, and he gets the green jacket for the second year in a row. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy. Excellent Masters, and no question about it. So, with that being said, MF, let's get a quick thought on the Masters before we get into Week 4 of the UFL. I MF, I can't really hear you. I mean, his mic is on, but I don't hear him. Hmm. Um, I still don't hear anything. I mean, I got everything fine on my end here. Got everything set up correctly. Um, nothing out of the ordinary. But
Hello, hello, hello.
there you are. Okay, we got you.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. No, I think look, this is a great thing. Rory was amazing. Like we thought he was gonna break all kinds of records. He had the 36-hole lead, and then on Saturday it just went a little off kilter. I think we kind of didn't know what was going on. We kind of were like, we were surprised at how this didn't go differently. And, give credit where credit's due. Rory handled his business, did what he needed to do to win it. And yeah, I'm very happy that Rory won the Masters. First man since Tiger to do it. And yeah, an incredible performance to say the very least. And yeah, I really got nothing more to say and just say that, yeah, the tournament was amazing. Nothing more to say. And Anthony, it's yours.
All right. And with that being said, we move on now to Week 4 of the UFL, and believe it or not, we already have some action here. We had a game. We had a rare Thursday night game, and just bear with me for a moment here. Um, we had a game earlier this evening between the Louisville Kings and the Houston Gamblers over in Houston, and the Louisville Kings defeating the Houston Gamblers 24-22 in overtime. So that's the story on that. So Louisville picks up their first win, while Houston drops to 1-3. So with that being said, let's move on to the remaining games. So instead of 4 games, we're going to preview 3. So let's get to. We have another game tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock over on Fox, it will be the Dallas Renegades squaring off against the Columbus Aviators from historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. You can find this game over on Fox. Dallas opening up as a 5.5 point favorite with the over-under set at 47.5. So let's dive on in here. The Renegades have been consistently good so far. Even when they sputter at times during the game, they are able to figure out a way to come out on top. I like how confident they are as a team, and it shows in how they execute in high leverage moments. Columbus is starting to show a bit more fight in the last 2 games, but I still am not as confident in their abilities to sustain success for a full 60-minute game. So with that being said, I am going to go with the Dallas Renegades to win this one. I believe I had the final score for this one. I want to say it was 33-23, but regardless, I have the Dallas Renegades continuing to roll. So give me Dallas 33-23. So MF, Dallas and Columbus tomorrow night. Who you got?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give it to the Dallas Renegades as well. I just feel like they've been pretty good, pretty consistent for the most part. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
And we move on to a doubleheader, a Saturday afternoon doubleheader. First game at 12:30 on ABC on Saturday, the game of the week. My team, the St. Louis Battlehawks, squaring off against the reigning, defending, undisputed UFL champions, the DC Defenders, Audi Field in Washington, D.C. D.C. opening up as a 4.5 point favorite with the over-under set at 44.5. MF, St. Louis, and D.C. meeting for the second time in 3 weeks. D.C. Oh my goodness, what a statement win
Yeah,
against the Houston Gamblers, 45-7, the largest margin of victory in UFL history. And on top of that, sorry, buddy, the St. Louis Battlehawks. Whoa, what a comeback against your Birmingham Stallions. Whoa.
yeah. Birmingham played good early in the game, and then I don't know what happened. That defense just the biggest thing is the defense is always better in the last few years, and this year they just don't know how to close the games out, man. They if you leave a team close enough where you give them that belief to win it, and they won it right at the very end. So, but I gotta go with DC at home. You saw what they do. They're out for blood now. They are making it very tough for anybody to beat them. Give me give me DC to win this, and I think it could be another dominating performance. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
DC. Hey, I certainly would not at all be surprised if the defenders do win this one. But I'll tell you what, um, the defenders' defense looked dominant last week against Houston, allowing only a single touchdown. Granted, Houston looked awful offensively, which made the job easier for the defenders. Nonetheless, it was an excellent showing at home. They get another chance to build on that effort against the St. Louis squad, coming off an upset win last week against Birmingham. Credit quarterback Harrison Frost for stepping in, overcoming a bad start, and leading his team to victory. I expect that to carry over to this week, as momentum is a real thing. And this game could come down to a field goal, but I don't know if it will, though. I do have the DC Defenders winning this game. My final score, I'm going to go 31-24 DC over St. Louis. And the final game of the week, the second half of the Saturday afternoon doubleheader, 4 p.m. over on Fox. Maybe the biggest surprise in the league right now. The newly expanded Orlando Storm, the 3-0 Orlando Storm. But boy, oh boy, do they have a very tough test ahead of them. Squaring off against the Birmingham Stallions, MF's Birmingham Stallions. Protective Stadium in Birmingham. Believe it or not, this is the Birmingham Stallions home
Home
opener.
opener. Yep.
Week 4, and this is the home opener. So that's something to think about there. So all right. Let's see. What do I have? I have Birmingham opening up as a 2.5 point favorite with the over under set at 45.5. Whew. Oh boy, this is tough. This really, really is tough. I mean, on paper, Orlando is the favorite because they are undefeated. But this is Birmingham. This is the home opener. And Birmingham is going to be out for blood, especially after they let that game get away against St. Louis in the Dome last week. Last weekend, the Stallions received a shock to the system, losing to the St. Louis Battlehawks in a game where the defense was dominant early. One would expect them to have some lingering effects as a team this week in their home opener against Orlando. The Storm have been one of the more consistent teams in terms of line of scrimmage play so far in the UFL. They're well coached and do a great job of not beating themselves. Expect that discipline to travel well to Alabama. I see this one being a decent scoring game here. So, I mean, I should go. My gut is telling me to go with Orlando here, but in my mind though, I still have this feeling about Birmingham, especially at home. If this game was in Orlando, then I have Orlando winning. But I got to be honest. I got to consider this somewhat of a must-win for Birmingham here. And if Birmingham loses this game, it's very simple. This could be the start of one of those "oh how the mighty have fallen" situations. I mean, when this all first started, 2022, with the USFL, the Birmingham Stallions were a dynasty. They won 2 USFL titles in 22 and 23. 2024, they win the inaugural UFL championship. They were heavily favored to do it again last year, but then they sputtered in the playoffs. And honestly, they have not been the same. I mean, they barely got by Louisville. And then the last 2 weeks, tough luck losses. Losing to Houston, I believe, in week 2. And then last week, I'll be honest, Birmingham should have won that game. St. Louis, as happy as I am that they won, that's my team. I'm happy they won, but all honestly, with the way Birmingham played in that second half, I mean, I thought Birmingham was going to slam the door on them. And when they pulled away, I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go, vintage Birmingham Stallions, here we go." I did not expect St. Louis to come back and beat them, but they did. I'm going to take a chance on Birmingham here. 32-29. I'm going to go with Birmingham to somehow pull this one out. MF, there's nothing left for me to say except, hate to say it, but I think you're looking at a must win here, because if you guys fall to 1-3, that's big trouble.
Yeah. And because remember, it's a 10-week season, so no, you need to win these games. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you don't want to fall 1-3. 2-2, you can manage and survive, but yeah, 1-3, and you're on the outside looking in. So yeah, no, Birmingham should win this one. I do believe they will win this one. And especially at home. No, I got Birmingham winning. So Anthony, it's yours.
And now we're ready for our huge double main event. And we are going to talk about, we're going to preview the first round of the NBA playoffs that kick off this Saturday. It's going to be it starts this Saturday at 1 p.m. And we're going to start it off with our first series. I know I usually do in-depth previews, but unfortunately, due to time constraints, I will not be doing those in-depth previews. Hopefully, for the second round, I'll bring those in, provided that we have sufficient time. But yeah, so let's get into it, and let's set the table. The first three, there's going to be 4 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday, and it looks like we have I think we have one match to be determined, one matchup to be determined. But we're going to start it off Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Amazon Prime Video, Eastern Conference first round. It's the 4 versus 5 matchup. The number 4 seed is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're going to square off against the number 5 seed, the Toronto Raptors. Cleveland has more talent than Toronto, but Toronto swept the series 3-0. The Boston Celtics are the only other Eastern Conference team that did so against the Cleveland Cavaliers this season. But don't read too much into those regular season results. All 3 games took place before Thanksgiving, meaning James Harden was not on the Cavs roster yet. And Larry Nance Jr., DeAndre Hunter twice, and Lonzo Ball twice started in those games for the Cavs due to various injuries. Cleveland also made an unsustainably low 28% of its three-point attempts against Toronto, compared with 36% over the full season. And Toronto, which ranked 26th in made threes this season, is not well suited to take advantage of Cleveland's weakness defending the arc. All of those factors suggest that the Raptors won't carry their regular season success into the postseason, and the Cavaliers should advance with relative ease. I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this series. Give me the Cavs in 5 games. MF, what says you?
Cleveland in 6 is my prediction. I do believe it's going to be a fine series, but I do believe Cleveland should win it, Anthony, in next series.
We shift gears to the Western Conference. And in the Western Conference, it will be the 3 versus 6 matchup, 3:30 p.m. also on Amazon Prime Video. It will be the number 3 seed, the Denver Nuggets, squaring off against the number 6 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves. MF, who do you like in this series?
This one's going to be a rough one, but I truly believe that once this is all said and done, I got to go with the 3 seed. I got to go with Denver, right? I think it will be the
Yes.
Denver Nuggets. I do believe they'll get the job done. Minnesota, I think, is going to win a couple of games. So give me Denver to win this in 6. I think it's going to be a hard hitting series. I think this is going to be a great matchup. But I just feel like Denver with Nikola Jokic, I just think Joker's going to do enough to get by and win the series. So give me Denver in 6. Anthony, go.
Once upon a time, Minnesota had Denver's number, going 8-3 against the Nuggets between the 2024 playoffs and the 2024-25 season. But the Nuggets handled the Timberwolves better this season, winning 3 out of 4 meetings, and their only loss came with Aaron Gordon out. The Nuggets entered the playoffs on a 12-game winning streak, while Minnesota stumbled to the finish line. And Denver has the advantage in this series because Aaron Gordon is healthy, and the Timberwolves' multi-big defensive strategy against Nikola Jokic has lost its effectiveness. Jokic averaged 36 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists, and 65% shooting against Minnesota this season. Denver wins, but I think they win in 5, not 6. Give me Denver in 5. Next series, 6 p.m. Eastern, also on Amazon Prime Video. Back to the East, and it's the 3-6 matchup in the East. The number 3 seed, the New York Knicks, squaring off against the number 6 seed, the Atlanta Hawks. New York and Atlanta staged an entertaining playoff preview last week when both teams shortened their rotations in a 108-105 Knicks win. The margin between the two teams was incredibly close as Hawks guard CJ McCollum's would-be tying half-court heave came a fraction of a second too late. That game demonstrated that Atlanta has a real chance for an upset in this series. And the Hawks have a strong starting 5 and have been hot for months. And Dyson Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker will make a spectacle out of trying to slow down Jalen Brunson. But the Knicks' superior depth, particularly in the front court, will be the difference. X Factor Mitchell Robinson averaged 10.5 rebounds, 4 offensive and 2 blocks in 19 minutes a game against Atlanta this season. I could see this going the distance. I think it's going to go 7, but I think the New York Knicks will do just enough, especially with that home court advantage of Madison Square Garden. So give me the Knicks in 7. MF, what says you?
I agree. I think the New York Knicks are going to win the series. I think they're just the better team. It's going to be close. It's going to be a great series. But I could also see it go the distance. I think 7 is definitely within the reach. There's really not much more for us to say on this one. So, yeah, Anthony, next series.
And the final game 1, Saturday night at 8:30. And this one will not be on Amazon Prime Video, unlike those first 3 games. You can find this game on ABC. ABC will have game 1, and this is the 4-5 series in the West. The number 4 seed, the Los Angeles Lakers, squaring off against the number 5 seed, the Houston Rockets. Oh, MF, who do you like in this series? I told you the series was worth a look.
This one is definitely worth a look. I think this is going to be a very good series, and it's going to be this is going to be rough. This is going to be a fight all the way to the very end. The one thing I was worried was the Lakers because of the fact of their injuries. Were they going to get all their guys back in time? It looks like the answer is going to be yes. So they should be able to play. At the end, it's going to be close. but I'm going to go with the Lakers, and I think it goes the distance. Give me the LA Lakers to win the series in 7 games. I think it's going to be a great series, but I got the Lakers winning it all. So, yeah, Florio, move on.
Even with Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Fred VanVleet, and Steven Adams injured, this series has its share of star power, with one especially compelling storyline. For the first time after 3 finals clashes, LeBron James and Kevin Durant will meet in a non-finals playoff series. Remarkably, both players are now their team's #1 options, despite a combined age of 78. Imagine that. Despite their injuries, the Lakers have a legitimate chance in this series. Lineups with LeBron James playing without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves this season had a +9 net rating per Data Ball R, and James in lineups with shooters have been successful across his storied career. But I suspect that after a surprisingly competitive start to the series, Houston will adjust and gain the upper hand. The Rockets' talent advantage is too great, even for LeBron James to overcome. Those Laker injuries, I do have some concerns about that. And because of that, I have to go with the Houston Rockets to win this series. And I'm going to go with Houston to win this series in 6 games. Give me Houston in 6. To the Sunday portion, we have 2 other series that are still to be determined. They ironically involve the #1 seeds in both conferences. So we'll save those for last. Kicking off the Sunday afternoon action at 1 p.m. I believe this game will be over on ABC, I believe. It's the 2 versus 7 matchup. The #2 seed in the Eastern Conference, Michael Bullock's Boston Celtics, squaring off against the #7 seed, the Philadelphia 76ers. Sunday at 1, Game 1, TD Garden in Boston. Don't pay much attention to the season series, which was tied at 2. These teams have played just once since November 11th, and Jason Tatum didn't play in any matchup against Philadelphia this season. The 76ers would be an intriguing upset pick if Joel Embiid was definitely available, because he would present an imposing challenge for Boston's untested front line. But with the 76ers MVP center potentially sidelined because of an emergency appendectomy, at the same time that Boston's rotation is fully healthy, there is no reason to expect Philadelphia to challenge the most complete team in the conference. I got the Boston Celtics winning this series. My gut says 5, but my mind says a clean sweep. But 4, it doesn't matter if it's 4 or 5. Either way, I got the Boston Celtics winning this series with the greatest of ease. So, MF, what says you on that?
Yeah, I'm going to go 5 games. I think Philly's going to get 1 because of Tyrese Maxey. Other than that, it won't be beyond that. Uh, Give me the Celtics to win the series in 5, and we can just move right on along.
And the only series that is confirmed Sunday night at 9 o'clock. It's the 2-7 matchup in the Western Conference. The #2 seed, the San Antonio Spurs, squaring off against the #7 seed, the Portland Trailblazers. So we got Portland versus San Antonio, the last confirmed matchup. MF, San Antonio, what an incredible season for them.
Yeah.
If any team can knock out OKC in the West, this is the team to do it.
This is the team to do it. And as a matter of fact, I believe when it's all said and done, I think the Spurs is going to be the NBA World Champions. I'm going to call it right now. I think the Spurs wins it all. I think San Antonio is the team. They got the goods. They got everything. Victor Wembanyama is the real deal. The supporting cast is the real deal. They play with that intensity like when they used to have when Greg Popovich was the head coach of the Spurs. Guys, this is the team that can win it all. And that's what I believe. So when it's all said and done, give me San Antonio to win the series. And I'll even go as far to say it. I think this ends in 5. I don't think this is going to be, I don't think it's going to be much. They may get 1 game. I think Portland may get 1 game out of it. But San Antonio is winning this series, and they're going to win this series going away. I could even go as far to call it a gentleman's sweep. I'll go as far to say that. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
And this game will be on NBC. Um, NBC will have this one. So absolutely. San Antonio, what can you say? I mean, on the surface, this seems like it could be a competitive series. As But at the end of the day, though, San Antonio's recent form suggests they have ascended to another level. So this series should be over quickly. The Spurs' only losses since the end of January: three to the Denver Nuggets, and then the New York Knicks, who both landed the 3 seeds. They haven't lost to a non-elite opponent in months. I'm gonna go for that gentleman's sweep. I'm gonna say at least 4, but then again, I could see maybe 5. But whether it's 4 or 5, it's gonna be the San Antonio Spurs moving on. And then on the other side of the coin, the number 1 seeds, in no particular order, Eastern Conference, we have the Detroit Pistons, and they're gonna square off against either the winner of tomorrow night's playing game between the Charlotte Hornets and the Orlando Magic. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got Charlotte winning that game. I think it's gonna be Detroit against Charlotte in the first round.
Ooh, that's going to be a good series.
And here's how I feel about it. Despite the gap in seeds, these teams have a similar profile. Since January 1, Charlotte ranks second in the league in net rating, while Detroit is third. The Hornets boast an elite offense, and the Pistons have a strong defense. Both teams are led by a host of players who were lottery picks, plus one key contributor who was previously on a two-way deal: Danis Jenkins for Detroit, Musa Diabate for Charlotte. The two teams also engaged in a brawl in February, leading to suspensions for Diabate, Miles Bridges, Jalen Duren, and Isaiah Stewart. Those ingredients set the stage for a much more compelling 1 versus 8 series than usual. But ultimately, the Pistons should advance because their superior size makes them a bad matchup for the scorching Hornets. Detroit was 3-0 against Charlotte in the regular season and outscored the Hornets 188-96 in the paint during those games. 6-game series, Detroit wins. MF, how do you follow that?
Agreed. 6 game series. Detroit wins. I think it's going to be a very dominant series. And yeah, the one team you don't, and I know, and honestly and truthfully, the one team that Detroit probably does not want to see would be Charlotte.
Yes.
Because Charlotte, I think we give them fits. If it's Orlando, it's a sweep. There's no doubt in my mind. It's a 4-0 sweep. But I do got Detroit regardless. Moving on to the second round, and let's move on.
And then finally, the other number 1 seed, the best team in the NBA this season, the reigning, defending, undisputed NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they're going to square off against either the Golden State Warriors or the Phoenix Suns. MF, who comes out of that?
I got Golden State beating Phoenix,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter. I would have um, OKC winning the series. I think Oklahoma City would win the series, but I will say this: if it is Golden State, we may have a fight on our hands. This could go 6, even 7
Mm.
if it goes. Um, if it's Phoenix, it ends in 5. So that's my theory. That's my prediction. And like I said, I do have them winning the series. So I got OKC winning, and Anthony, it's yours.
It's very simple. In a playoff setting, the Thunder should continue to coast. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, superior top option, and the Thunder have many more secondary playmakers behind their leading scorer. I got OKC winning it. It probably will be Golden State. If that's the case, then we're looking at 6 or 7 easy. So that is that when it comes to the NBA playoffs. Now to the Stanley Cup playoffs here. Just like in the NBA, we do have a couple of matchups that are still to be determined, as the old saying goes. But we have, let's see here, how many? It looks like we have. I believe we have. I think we have all 8 here. It looks like we got all 8 here finally. So We're going to start it off with our first series, and it's going to be the Ottawa Senators squaring off against the Carolina Hurricanes. Face-off scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern. And let's dive on into this series now. All right. First time ever, these two teams are meeting up in a playoff series. And while they won't be breaking any records for TV ratings with this one, it does set up as one of the more intriguing matchups in the first round. These are teams that played wildly similar games. And, I'm going to be honest. My gut is telling me to go with the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, the Carolina Hurricanes, I do believe, had the best record in in the Eastern Conference. They did not win the President's Trophy. Um, so bear with me for a moment here. I had something here. All right. Ottawa, Carolina. Okay. The Ottawa Senators had to have the greatest run towards securing a playoff spot. They did not have to rely on other teams losing. They were just focused on themselves and finished off March and April super strong. This team is hot at the right time, and they have already implemented that hard-nosed, aggressive forecheck style to their game. That's going to be key when going up against a very well-structured Carolina Hurricanes defensive group. The biggest question mark here for the Senators, and ultimately what will make or break this series for them, is Linus Ullmark. There's no doubt he has struggled a fair amount this season. And when the Senators have to worry about the reliability of Ullmark, it doesn't end well. That being said, he finished the season strong, which is the most important thing. And if that version of Ullmark is the one who shows up for the playoffs, the Senators are going to be a tough bunch to get by. On the other hand, it's not like the Hurricanes have the greatest goaltending either. Both Brandon Bussi and Frederick Anderson have struggled at times also. The Hurricanes are perennial cup contenders, almost always certain to make an appearance in the conference finals. Once again, I am not going to be shocked if the Hurricanes manage to get it done. But with the way the Senators play, the way they finish the season, and the fact that they have players who can grind you out and produce offense, leads me to believe this will be a team that could make some noise in the playoffs. Because of this, I think the series goes 7. However, I got to go with my gut. My gut tells me to go with Carolina, and I think Carolina does win the series, but I think it's going to go the distance. I think Carolina wins this series in 7 games. So I'm going to go with Carolina in 7. MF, like I said, Carolina in 7, but watch out for Ottawa. They're sneaky good.
They are sneaky good, but I'm not completely buying it. Not all the way buying it. I think it'll go 6. I got Carolina winning the series, but there's going to be some games where I think Iowa is going to get them. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a couple of games. I just don't see them going beyond 6. So it's yours.
All right, we move on to the next game of the Saturday slate, and it will feature. Oh, here's a good series. We got the Minnesota Wild squaring off against the Dallas Stars. MF, who do you like in this series?
I like Dallas. I think Dallas is going to win the series. This is the one that could go 7. I kind of feel like Dallas is a cup contender. Minnesota, they're sneaky good. They give me the same vibe as Ottawa does, Anthony. Like you were talking about with Ottawa, I feel that for Minnesota. However, Dallas has always been a team that's always been there year in and year out. And for some odd reason, they never get over the hump. They can never get to the final. I think this could be the year where they could get to the final. I'm not saying that they will or not, but they could. But at the end of the day, I do believe that I got the Dallas Stars winning this series, and I think it will go the distance. It goes 7. So it's yours.
Well, this is tough. I mean, it could go either way, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I got to give the edge to Dallas. I mean, Even if Miro Heiskanen is close to 100% by this weekend, many of the finer details of this seemingly dead even matchup point to the Wild. They're meaner on the forecheck, they're healthier from top to bottom, and they've had an easier time working deadline additions into their lineup. But at the end of the day, though, there's just something about this Dallas team. I got to go with them. I think Dallas will pull this one out. I got Dallas winning this one, and I think it's gonna go at. I think it's gonna go the distance. I think it's gonna go 7. So give me Dallas. Saturday night at 8. We go back to the East and a classic. This is one of the classic playoff series that we've seen many of times. The Battle of the Keystone State. The Philadelphia Flyers squaring off against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang are back for another cup run, and what better way than to kick it off with the Battle of Pennsylvania? The Pittsburgh Penguins have got to be the most surprising playoff team this season, based on the sole fact that no one thought they would be as good as they were. An aging core, mediocre depth, not the strongest defensive group on paper, and a goaltending tandem that does not exactly strike fear into the other team. We all know Stuart Skinner's playoff history with the Edmonton Oilers and the struggles he has had in important moments. Artur Solavs had a generational playoff debut with the Vancouver Canucks a couple of seasons ago. So I guess the question is, who will the Penguins decide to go with? Both had relatively similar numbers. I'm not crazy about the Flyers goaltending either, so I don't think either team has that much of an advantage. The Philadelphia Flyers, barely snuck in, but have a sneaky good roster. A lot of young, skilled talent, and their speed could pose a threat to an older, slower Penguin team. This is also a team that is coached by Rick Tocchet, and you know that comes with a defensive structure that's hard to penetrate. The inexperience is of concern for the Flyers as well, which does not help their case. Special teams are huge, and it would be a crime not to mention the difference between these two teams when it comes to both the penalty kill and power play. The Penguins' penalty kill and power play were both the 7th best in the NHL this season, while the Flyers' power play was ranked dead last, and their penalty kill was in the bottom 11. It's not the end-all or be-all, but the Penguins do have a massive special teams advantage. Sidney Crosby does not have many years left, and I don't think he's going to get bounced by the Pens' biggest rivals in round 1. I am going to go with the Pittsburgh Penguins to win this series, and I think they do so in 6 games. So give me Pittsburgh over Philadelphia. MF, another series that we could have considered. This definitely could have been our series, but we'll get to which one is ours in a little bit. But Phil, are you ready for another Philly-Pittsburgh series?
Dude, this when Philly and Pittsburgh was announced, or when we found out that these two were going to go at it, you got to feel about, dude, do you know how many times these two teams went at it in the mid 90s, early 2000s, and these two teams, like, dude,
the Legion of Boom of Philly,
yeah,
Eric Lindros, John LeClaire, Michael
yeah,
Renberg, going up
and
against the big 3 of Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, and Ron Francis. That was cinema.
yeah, and
They
then
had families back
and then remember, there was a game where it went to 4 overtimes
there. Mm-hmm.
between these two. Like,
Classic.
we're in for it. We are in for it. You know we're in for it. Philly and Pittsburgh do not like each other. These are divisional rivals. They're state rivals. Philly and Pittsburgh, I mean, you already know how this goes. It's about a 6-hour difference between Pittsburgh and Philly, folks. Trust me, I've done the math. But oh my God, this is going to be a great series. I got Pittsburgh winning in 7. It's going to be that type of series. Yeah, Anthony, you're right. This easily could have been our series, but God, this is going to be awesome. Nothing more to say. It's yours.
This next series, this is our series. Get ready for this. The Boston Bruins squaring off against the Buffalo Sabres. Oh, I'm going to wax poetic about this series in a moment, but Doc, MF, Gary Thorne, and my Bill Clement, our series. I'll tell you
Yes,
why in a
indeed.
minute. It's all yours.
Dude, the history itself goes way back. However, Buffalo has been the biggest surprise in all of the NHL this year. Most
Amen.
dominant team. A lot of people feel like, yeah, but it's fool's gold. They've never really played a good team. They've never been tested. Well, now they're going to be tested, all right, to go up against the Boston Bruins in the playoffs. And many experts, shockingly, has the Bruins as the favorite, especially here in the New England area. A lot of people believe that they're going to win this series. Is this going to be an upset? Possible if they do, but the Bruins are a good team. The Bruins have what it takes to get the job done. And of course, with the guy who scores 100 points in David Pasternak and with the crew, the one liability may be the goaltending. You know, I don't know what we're going to get with the goaltending, but if you go pay strength by strength, you think that Boston should win the series. This can go 7 games, and I think Boston will. But I will say this: Tage Thompson, if you get him on the power play and you load him up for a one timer, I'm telling you now, you better pray he does not shoot on target, because I remember there was one game and they had him teed up for four one timers. And can I tell you what the range of those one timers were? Just listen to this:
Hmm.
93, 97, 92, 89. He drops
Woo.
nukes on one timers. And yes, I'm dead serious. Those were the accurate uh, miles per hour of each of those bombs that he was firing. So Bruins wins in 7. Anthony, go ahead, go professor mode. What are we talking about when we're talking about the history between the Bruins and the Sabres?
Well, it's not that I was going to go professor mode, but let me break it down. They finally did it. For the first time since 2011, the Buffalo Sabres are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Not only did this team just make the playoffs, they dominated their way to first place in the toughest division in hockey, the Atlantic Division. There's a feeling throughout this organization right now that has them on a train with a full head of steam. And something tells me they're not going to be going home anytime soon. Yes, the Boston Bruins are sneaky and never an easy out. They have the best goaltender in this series in Jeremy Swayman and the best overall player in David Pasternak. The question is, are those two enough against an extremely elite Sabres offense that ranked fifth in the NHL for goals a game? I don't like the odds. The only area I think the Bruins have the advantage in is experience. There is a chance they are able to take advantage of a super young and an inexperienced Sabres group and really force that aggressive playoff style hockey. But it's not enough for me to bet on the Bruins. The Sabres have the stronger forward group, a more skilled group, probably the best puck moving defensive group in the NHL, and have gotten solid performances out of both Ukko, Pekka, Lukonen, and Alex Leon. There's a lot of mojo in Buffalo right now. The Sabres are rolling. And I believe the Bruins are, with all due respect, I believe the Bruins are in the danger zone here. And I messaged MF earlier, and any of those. I mean, we usually cover the Eastern Conference side of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and when I saw this matchup, I mean, any one of them, any one of them could have been our series. Well, maybe not quite Carolina, Ottawa, but we could have made an argument for Pittsburgh and Philly. We most assuredly could have made an argument for Montreal and Tampa Bay. After all, they played for the Stanley Cup in 2021 during that COVID tournament, during that COVID style Stanley Cup playoff. Either of those series could have been ours. But the reason why I wanted this series, there's just something about this Buffalo Sabre team. I've seen it on social media, and the fans of Buffalo are believing. I mean, they're excited. I mean, it's It's been a long time coming. I mean, snapping this playoff drought, the longest playoff drought in history, and I mean, Ranger fans. I mean, it's well documented that we're Ranger fans. But I have gained so much respect months ever since they started going on this incredible run. And the Sabres have been the winningest team in the NHL for the last 4 months. It's a learning curve advantage. Swayman should help them steal a game or two, but their defensive shortcomings will be their undoing. I got the Buffalo Sabres winning the series. I got them winning it in 6. Earlier in the show, MF made his bold declaration that he believes that the San Antonio Spurs are going to win the NBA championship. Very possible. I think the Buffalo Sabres could go on a run here. I got a good feeling about this team. I really do. Yes, on paper, Carolina's the favorite. You got Tampa, you got Montreal, you got Pittsburgh, and Boston. Yes, I get that. But watch out for this Buffalo Sabre team. This team is not only sneaky good, they're scary good. And with the body of work I've seen for the last 4 months or so, this team could legitimately go on a Stanley Cup run. That's how high on this team I am. Buffalo wins. Buffalo Sabres win the series, 6 games. The schedule is all over the place. A lot of this is mainly because of the to be determined stuff. But let's get into the next series here. We're just gonna go with it here. The Los Angeles Kings squaring off against the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado. I think Colorado wins this series. If I'm going to be honest with you, I believe the Colorado Avalanche are on paper, they're the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup. I mean,
Yes.
they're the most complete team, the most complete team. I mean, just like it was in 2022 when they won their last Stanley Cup. So I'm thinking somewhere in excess of 5 or 6 games, but I do believe the Colorado Avalanche will win the series. And there's nothing more to say. MF, it's well documented. You have a dear friend of yours by the name of Dan Desmarais, who is a huge Colorado Avalanche fan. I can only
Yep.
imagine how excited he was when they won it all in 2022. I'm sure he's got to be excited knowing that his team is the odds-on favorite to win it all. For they are the most complete team right now.
I agree with that. I got Colorado winning in 5 as well. Really not much more to add there. So Florio, next game or next series, final series actually.
Actually, we have 2 more series.
Uh,
How about this? The expansion, Utah Mammoth, squaring off against the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, MF, we very easily could have taken a chance on this series because how intriguing is this matchup?
yeah,
This expansion Utah Mammoth team going up against the Vegas Golden Knights, only a good 7-8 years old, already been to 2 finals, won a cup. I mean, the original expansion team. I mean, the Utah Mammoth made it? Wow. Okay.
yeah.
How about it?
It's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll say that for one thing. I'll say this. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights to win the series. I think it's gonna be a good series. But at the end, I think Vegas is gonna come pretty close. They'll get the job done, they'll win it. But I really got nothing more to add. So give me Vegas. And I'll go between 6 and 7 games. I think we're gonna have a really good series here. So nothing more to add. Florio, is yours.
And of course, the recent change at head coach for Vegas, our
Yeah,
old friend John Tortorella. John
yeah,
Tortorella, now the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights, and he's no stranger to the Stanley Cup. Remember, he took the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Stanley Cup in 2004.
Yep.
And he also took our New York Rangers to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2012 before we got our hearts ripped out by the New Jersey Devils in
Yep.
6 games. So he's no stranger to that experience. And because of that experience, and remember, this team it's only been 3 years. It was 2023 that the Vegas Golden Knights hit the ultimate jackpot and won the Stanley Cup. And they got the talent to certainly go on another deep cup run again. So I definitely agree with that. I'm going to go with Vegas to win this series. 6, maybe even 7, who knows? But don't sleep on the Utah Mammoth. Theme of the night, sneaky good team. That's all there is to it. It looks like I just want to be doubly sure on this. I do believe, yeah, we do have one last series, and we were waiting for it to be determined, but I guess it is determined now. It's going to be the Anaheim Ducks squaring off against the Edmonton Oilers. So, oh man, Anaheim, one of the big surprises of the season. I did not see this team doing much of anything, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I got to go with the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, it is official. It will be Anaheim and Edmonton. Edmonton will have the home ice advantage. Great story, Anaheim. They really are. But if I'm going to be honest with you, MF, can we really bet against Connor McDavid in the
Oh no.
playoffs?
No. No.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I could see this going 6, maybe 7. But at the end of the day, you can't bet against Connor McDavid. You certainly cannot bet against Leon Draisaitl. And this team that has been the back-to-back defending Western Conference champions, a chance at a three-peat in the West. So 6 or 7, you got to give me the Edmonton Oilers. There's no doubt about it. MF, like I said, you certainly cannot bet against Connor McDavid and or Leon Draisaitl. Anaheim, a great story, but against McDavid and Draisaitl, good luck.
Forget it. Yeah. No, this is simple. Give me Edmonton to win this one. I say between 5 and 6, though. That's my prediction. Nothing more to say. And Anthony, let's call it.
All right. And with that will put the bow on this edition of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you tomorrow night, immediately following WrestleMania SmackDown, 11 p.m. MF, you got it. This is your show. There will be for this week only, we will not be covering TNA Impact. We will not be covering WrestleMania SmackDown because it is all about WrestleMania 42. Our predictions for Saturday and Sunday. And then from there, Saturday night, somewhere between 10:30 and 11, we will recap night 1 of WrestleMania. We'll recap WrestleMania Saturday. And then the same thing for Sunday night. WrestleMania Sunday, 10:30, 11. We'll hit the air to recap WrestleMania Sunday. And then Tuesday night, we do it all over again. Ridiculously Raw. Monday Night Raw. The Raw after WrestleMania. If it's anything like last year, we could be in for a wild and crazy show in Vegas on Monday night. And of course, week 2 of NXT Revenge. And that's it. So until tomorrow night for our big WrestleMania 42 preview edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher on his channel, BrazeFan95. This is Anthony Florio here for the aforementioned good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, and in spirit, Michael Bullock. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for our WrestleMania preview show, you've been watching TXN Sports World right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long and bye, everybody. Bye.